Hello guys, welcome back to another training video. In this one we're going to be going onto the Discord, so not the normal training video, but I just wanted to go through the resources which are on my Discord. It is obviously completely free to join, but some of these things should be able to help you quite well with trading throughout the day, whether you're a day trader or swing trader or even investing. There are going to be things on this server that should be able to help you over the long term. So firstly, on the first part of it, we do have an economic calendar. So if you're FX trading, if you're trading indices or anything like that, kind of futures based, then this will probably be more of a key thing. If you're more just equities, your kind of stocks, maybe not so much, but it'll be things like inflation numbers, but it will kind of show you, like here you can see CPI is coming out for the day, and kind of all these numbers. You'll be able to see any earnings coming out or bigger name earnings coming out, and then other key events. Now, yes, obviously it will have some effect, but the majority of you will be stock traders joining this, because that's what I focus on, so I would imagine that's what you are probably on if you've been watching videos. These will still some have some effects on stocks. Obviously, if inflation numbers come out, they're quite poor. If the overall market ends up pulling back, then obviously that means the stocks will be pulling back as well. Then we have morning calls. We've just started adding Europe in here as well, but we do have the normal US morning call. We'll go over this first to quickly show you what it is. It does open as a PDF if you're on computer. If you're on an iPhone or just your phone, it will pull up just kind of on Discord. And here you can use it for what you like, but you kind of have the top news, so that would just be the key things that happened overnight. And then you'll also have, if you want to go more in depth into research, news related to certain companies. If you want to see what's happening with Alphabet / Google, Amazon, American Airlines and all this, you can get more in depth information on this, on kind of the key events which is happening around them overnight and the previous day. Now we also do have the Europe one. I added this one. This only just went on today, but will be on here for the future. So maybe if you're more London Stock Exchange or other Europe exchanges, or even if you're focusing on US markets such as myself, you may still get some benefits of looking at here, because obviously some Europe news will affect US markets, not as strong as it is the other way around, but we'll still have some effects. But you do also get some global news on here, because this comes out a lot earlier. For example, right now it's 6 a.m. US or Eastern Standard Time. This one comes out at 5 a.m. UK time, so it comes out quite early. So if you're trying to get news early as well, this one will be here in advance. The US one will come out about midday Eastern Standard. Oh no, sorry, that's midday UK, so 7 a.m. Eastern Standard, that will come out. The morning call though can be very helpful. Then earnings will be the next thing here. We'll post this, it will come from Earning Whispers. Also the morning call, that all comes from Reuters. But yeah, then we go into earnings. Here we'll just post on any, it comes from Earning Whispers. They tend to just throw on the biggest names of the time, but sometimes, especially like right now when earnings seasons has kind of slowed down, they'll just throw on all these stocks which have earnings up, and then we'll have small analysis to go over them if they're bigger names, so AutoZone, GameStop, Chewy, Costco, Lululemon, those kind of ones we will have analysis on. You can kind of just read it. They're just quick summaries on what you would be expecting from earnings. Smaller names, we don't really have it on because not as many people are watching them. Now, day ahead, this is sort of similar to the morning call. This isn't posted every day, but just whenever there's usually going to be big news the next day. This can be quite a long read, so it's usually something you can just skim read, or if there's something in particular you want to look for, be on here, or you can just read the coming up. All up to you, but yeah, it's usually about 5 to 8 pages. So this one can be quite long to read. But yeah, if it's there if you want it, basically. Market talk, now these can be quite helpful. These may come from large firms, the Fed or whatever, and it will kind of just be quick summarize notes from what's happened. So these again can just be another quick resource posted during market hours most of the time. That can be quite helpful. Now the next one, this is just private equity news. Again, these aren't always going to have the biggest effect on overall US markets or stock markets for that, because a lot of the deals they're doing will be with already private companies, but it's usually just good idea to be keeping up with private equity news, because it can give you some forecasts into what's going to be happening in the future. For example, we're seeing in the UK at least a lot of supermarkets have been being bought up by private equity firms, or at least bids have been going out for them. So that is one thing. We could be seeing a lot of growth in the in the UK supermarket and kind of just foods and goods industry, so that it can just give you forecasts in future plays. And also, so occasionally you will get some companies that private equity firms are trying to take private. So if so, then usually their stocks prices will run up. So it can give you some trades that way. Then articles, I mean, quite self-explanatory, but just any articles that kind of stand out will be posted through here. 90% of them will be current ones, but occasionally I will post slightly older articles if I don't really have any to post on the day, just which kind of considered good reads. For example, like the EU fines on the banks. This happened I think on the 2nd of December, but didn't really have anything to post this morning, and I was just reading over it again myself this morning, so I thought I'd repost it for anyone that wanted to read it. Now, futures analysis, this was recently added, was recommended by some members in the Discord, and as well, if you do join it, you can recommend things to come and join the server. But all this we tend to do it on a Saturday or Sunday before the futures market opens Sunday evening. And we'll kind of just go over the key futures I'm personally looking at and where we can see these price targets. So for example, on Sunday, we saw VIX up around $30. We said it would be pulling back. We would expect market to cool down, most likely continue up, because of how high the fear index was, or volatility index was, and as you would have seen, that played out quite well. Again, this was posted 5th of December. S&P 500, we did have kind of a downward target of 4464. Don't think we actually ended up pushing down that low in the end, but that it was kind of our downside on it. Crude oil, there's usually quite a lot of crude oil being posted. That's usually every week, just because crude oil does tend to be moving quite heavily, and we tend to just stick doing the crude oil futures, because things like you have heating oil, natural gas, obviously they do move, but crude oil is the main one people are looking at, so we do tend to just stick to that. And then we usually throw in a Bitcoin or Ethereum futures analysis, just because I know some people obviously do like to be looking on the cryptocurrencies. Again, we usually be about 3 to 8 different futures posted in here. Is usually what we look to post. Now, stock analysis, this is just any videos that have been uploaded on YouTube. These are my personal ones, so just if you ever want to watch them from here, that's an easy way to do it. Now, this again is another recently added feature, and it's just I don't really know what else to call it, so it's just put under as interesting. And this would just be anything that I see. A lot of it will be by this Charlie guy, but you can have Hershey Financials, and then occasionally some other people. And this is just kind of interesting things to see about the market. Again, these may not be market movers, but they can just be good facts to know. Or if you just like finance and markets in general, they can just be interesting reads a lot of the time. And this was actually quite an interesting one. If you want to come check this out, recently posted in by Ray Dalio. Now, our news, this is one of the big ones that a lot of people will like, and this will just be a lot of big news carried over. So this is copied over from Walter Bloomberg, as you can see up here, source Walter Bloomberg at the top. Obviously, you can always go and follow his Discord. This one's kind of just a more summarized version. I don't, because he posts it, there'll be posts coming in throughout the day, and a lot of them. So this one, I try not to post as much in it all day, and just have kind of the bigger names posted through here. Or if I see anyone talking about certain stocks in chat and I see it in the news, I'll also post that in here. And then we also have upgrades, downgrades, quite self-explanatory. Just the upgrades, downgrades just means if a company has changed them from, let's say, from a buy to or neutral to a buy on the upgrade side. On downgrade, they may go from a buy to a neutral, or neutral to sell. Price targets, this may mean the actual price target has changed, but it may not mean that the stock has moved from a neutral to buy or something like that. So these are just figures only on the price targets. Block trade, these are just large orders that are put through, much larger than usual. And some people use this for trading because they see if a lot of people are, or if a lot large orders are going out, it may mean someone has kind of some sort of inside news. So it usually can just be a thing to be looking at a stock. I personally use this somewhat. So when we had PFE and stuff, I was going to check the chart if I see big orders going through, because it may mean it's coming into key levels. But it does have a lot of smaller names on here, so if you're more small cap focused, that can help you that way. Chat lounge, I mean, just a place you can come in, chat. We have quite a lot of members, but we do have some key members who are very active in here that we talk to daily. Now, swing ideas, this one is where we'll post through certain trades which are coming into levels of what I'm personally looking to trade. We'll kind of post through my analysis on it, what I'm looking at. And then, can just give you an idea if you're looking to do something similar on that stock, or if you're just looking to get some levels. Those are also posted. Not really used as much, but you can be using them. It's just a swing and day trade P&L if you want to post your own profit and loss in there. Do now also have any questions. If you have any questions, post them in here. Do tend to respond quite quickly. Now, finance videos, this can be another good one. Again, may not always have effects on the markets, but these are just videos I do find interesting if I'm on YouTube or something. I'm watching a finance related video, not always market, sometimes it may be banking, or just a company that's heavily traded on the markets focused. I'll just post these in here, and then if you want to check them out, you can do. For example, as well, this one was definitely interesting if you haven't already checked it out. The Volkswagen short squeeze, that was an interesting video for sure. And then finishing off, we just got resources. This is where I'll post over any resources that I see as pretty good and can help you in trading. For example, this earning calls app. So where you can replay earning calls, you can also listen to them live on there. So if you're trying to listen to the earnings call, you can do that. But if you're also trying to improve your fundamental knowledge, trying to improve at understanding earnings calls, what to be listening for, then this app can be great, because obviously you can go back and listen to the earning calls quite easily, all in one place. The Forge is also a great thing. Especially if you're younger, you're looking to go into the finance industries, because you do get certifications for completing it, and they're done by a lot of big banks such as I think so JPM have them, Goldman, Citi, HSBC. Then you also have some other investment companies like Fidelity who also are posting things on there. Then this is the one that's in the YouTube description. We'll just send you to all the resources that I personally recommend course-wise, all free on there. And then these are the top newsletters that I use: just Morning Brew, Robinhood Snacks, Finimize, Morning Wrap. So if you want to subscribe to all or just one, or however many of them you want to, they're all there. And then Bloomberg Newsletter for supply chains. Now this one can be quite good. You don't really need to read it every day. You could just read it once a week or so. They do come through every day. But I do notice that most of the week it's usually the same thing, so it can just be quite good to read maybe once a week, or when you see new variants of this of COVID coming out, because you can see where it's getting affected a lot more, where the supply strengths are, and all of that. forbesai, this can be quite good to pick up on trends, just show you kind of what trends are doing well, what stocks are doing quite well. I think it's done once a week, or for every fortnight, but either way, can be another good resource. And sometimes as well, it's not even so much as things to sign up for. It can be just literally things which people may not know. They may not be as much common knowledge, and I'll just post it through to like Investopedia or something, just if I think it's something useful to understand, and I don't think a lot of people may know what it is. Compound, this is that Charlie guy who I said a lot of his posts are now in the interesting tab. Great newsletter, would highly recommend. Same with Hershey Financial. He does do a newsletter as well, but I would definitely recommend his YouTube channel. It's very interesting. Even if you don't care about the market side of it, it's just very interesting for normal finance videos. And then lastly, my own newsletter. Recently started that a few weeks back, posted once a week. and obviously free to sign up. So that's the overall Discord. So yeah, if you do want to join it, it's in the description, but it should be able to help you with trading, whether you're trading FX, stocks, futures, kind of whatever markets you're trading. It should be somewhat helpful in some instance. So I hope you enjoyed the video, hope you see you in the next one, and that's it. Peace.